Hello students, now we are going to discuss quality of irrigation water chapter 3 and our next point is sample collection procedure or sampling procedure. So which contains filled area to sample, time of sampling, sampling tools, sampling depth, amount of sample, sampling processes, drying samples, then sample ID and shipping. So, how to collect the sample or what is the proper procedure for collection of sample for irrigation quality? The sample of irrigation water is collected in about 500 or 1000 ml glass or polyethylene bottles, which should be transparent, and the container must be thoroughly clean before use and should be rinsed 3 to 4 times with the water from which sample is to be drawn. If the source of irrigation water is a tank or a water tank, canal or river, the sample should be drawn either from a spot away from the sides or from the middle stream. The tube well or hand pump is to be run for about 10 minutes prior to sampling and for open well. Several buckets of water, which is approximately 6 buckets of water, have to be thrown out first. About a half or a liter of the sample is quite sufficient. About a half or a liter sample is sufficient. The water sample, after proper marking and labeling, must be sent to the laboratory immediately for testing to avoid any changes. If a few day delay for analysis of water sample, then add 2 or 3 drops of toluene to prevent bacterial activity. Generally, water sample is directly taken for analysis, but in some cases, little amount of sediment which is present, if it may be allowed to settle down at the bottom of the bottle, or in a few cases, it becomes necessary to filter the water by Whatman filter paper. You can use Whatman filter paper number 1 for that testing purpose. So this is sampling procedure in short. So now we are going to discuss our next point, and that point is handling and preservation of water sample. So sample from the sampler should be transferred to well rinsed, labeled and glass polyethylene or polypropylene container. That polyethylene or polypropylene container must be proper or well rinsed, label and label. Then for the analysis of parameters like dissolved oxygen, oil and grease, the use of glass bottle, which is very necessary. Then proper labeling should be made on each sample as follows. So what type of labeling must be there? There is first point in that label is name and location of body of water, then water sampling date, and third one is depth of sampling for well and tube well water. Then after labeling, immediately the sample must be sent to the laboratory for analysis to avoid any changes in its quantity and quality and due to chemical and microbial changes or microbial activities. Then our next point is analysis of irrigation water. So what is analyzed to determine its quality? The analysis provides information on suitability of water for irrigation and suggests management practices to be followed. Substances commonly determined in water and reported as ions include the cations of calcium, magnesium, sodium and potassium, and the anions of sulfates, chloride, carbonates, bicarbonates and nitrates, and other substances such as arsenic, boron, barium, copper, chromium, lead, iron, manganese, selenium, silica, strontium, zinc, bromide, iodide, and phosphates may be determined as a part of routine complete analysis. So, dissolved gases such as carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide are usually reported in the undissociated form. Turbidity, electrical, that is specific electrical conductivity, pH, hardness, then specific gravity are determined to study the quality of irrigation water. The quality of irrigation water is generally expressed on the basis of point number A, relative concentration of sodium to other cations. Point number second is B, that is total concentration of soluble salts. Then point number C is bicarbonate content, and last point, that is boron concentration. Our next point is various units and terms are commonly used to express data obtained from chemical analysis of water. The most commonly used terms are, first one is parts per million, that is ppm. The next one is milligram equivalent per liter, MEQ per liter, and third term is equivalent per million, that is EPM. So we will discuss in short. First one is parts per million. What is parts per million? That is 1 part of the solute dissolved 1 million part is 1 ppm. That is 1 gram per 100,000 gram of water, or 1 milligram of solute is dissolved in 1 kilogram or 1 liter of water is 1 gram per liter. That is parts per million, that is ppm. The next is milligram equivalent per liter, that is MEQL. So milli equivalent 1 out of 1000 equivalent. So 1 out of 1000 equivalent of an ion or compound in 1 liter of water, means milli equivalent of an ion or compound in 1 liter of water is milligram equivalent per liter, that is MEQL. Then our third point is equivalent per million, that is EPM. Equivalent weight of an ion or salt per million gram of water, that is EPM. If the specific gravity of solvent is 1, then equivalents per million and milliequivalents per liter are identical. This is equivalent per million, which is EPM. So this is our today's part. Now in our next part we will discuss dissolved constituents and their functions. There are different types of constituents like major and minor. So we will discuss in our next chapter. Till then, thank you.